All right, what's up, traders? Obviously, we got this whole structure remains bullish as far as like if you would look at the weekly and then put all of your moving averages up there, you can see that all the moving averages are structured right where they need to be. So one could argue that. So one could argue that this is a longer time uptrend, but we're watching the near term right now. Last week, based on what the Fed said, obviously made price blast off. There was just over leveraged shorts in the market and caused one hell of a short squeeze. Currently, what we're doing here is we're going to watch last month's high and see if we get a monthly closure above that. If we get a monthly closure above this, then we'll be looking for the S&P 500 to potentially approach 46.20, 46.19, somewhere in that area. But this level right here is going to be huge. Now, the problem with this is this monthly range is almost as big as last month's range, and we're literally 4 days into the month. So we got a long time to wait to see if we can breach above this, and not only breach above it, but close above it. Closing above it is crucial, in my opinion, for future direction. So what we can do next week on the ES minis is we can watch this level here, as that is that monthly high, and see if prices want to pull back next week, or do we get more bullish pressure? Like if we open next week, come in for a retest of the 21 exponential, and then get like some support there, and then start to move towards that 44.30 level, and we could take some longs, just targeting that region. But like I said, I do believe that region will ultimately hold as resistance if the market is indeed wanting to turn down and go on lower. Yearly opening range still setting at 38.95. Obviously, that's not going to change until January 1st, 2024, which is, getting closer and closer with each monthly close. Fantastic stuff going on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on this, and we'll be able to get some trades out of this. I believe that this was a massive move, and I think you did a lot of squeezing. It can absolutely continue with, more squeezing. So we'll see how next week is. Next week doesn't really have much on the docket as far as high risk news events. So I think we'll get potentially a pullback, but I'm not looking to short it unless it gives us an entry. So we'll see what happens. But that would be just for intraday trades, not really looking for the market to just dump from here either. Over on Bitcoin, this is bullish. I mean, if you pull up the RSI, you can see that you do have bearish divergence and all that stuff. But I just want to take you back real quick just to show you something. I know it's a bit cliched and everything to always go back in time and look at this stuff, but I do have it pulled up right here. Real quick, let's get rid of the moving average. You can see that we were printing bearish divergence here, right? You're making higher closes, this candle and this candle. Let me make it bigger for you guys on mobile. So this candle and this candle clearly closed up higher than this candle did. So that created the bearish divergence. And then you can see that went on to make, a big move up. Now, with that being said, this was after the halving. All right, after the halving. The halving happened somewhere in this region. So this was after the halving. We are pre-halving. So the bearish divergence could play out. We'll see. But as far as price action is concerned, this is extremely bullish still. Even though we did reject the monthly support level, you can see that there is clearly buying coming in right through here. When something is clearly positioned bullish, it's not really a great idea to try to catch the top, right? It's better to, I know it sounds bad, like I hate buying highs, but at the same time, if this does get more bullish strength, then, buying here is going to be okay, considering that wick got up to $36,000 exactly and rejected. So getting up there that high, rejecting, coming back down, finding support, getting a little bit more accumulation going on here. This does look like big south side wicks. Well, people are going to be looking to short these pops, intraday pops. We'll see what it does. All right. But as of right now, as long as we're trading above daily support, I have to look for the upside target. The upside target, once again, hourly resistance. As far as my long-term view on Bitcoin, it's the same as everything. We need to close above this level right here on this month or next. But eventually, we need to close above this monthly support. If we do close above that monthly support, then the next potential target for long-term could be $40,000. So we'll see if it gets that close. If we continue to reject here for multiple months, then obviously I would expect it to roll back over, come back down, test the midpoint, potentially this wick high there, 3182. I mean, there's plenty of levels where it could potentially roll over, but more and more of near-term traders here on this channel. So we're just looking for where we can gain a little bit of edge. And as of right now, I mean, on Saturdays and Sundays, I don't really like to take trades because most of the time what you get is intraday chop with inside the daily range. You set a high a day, you set a low a day, and then the market just trades inside of that range, chopping people apart. So going back to the intraday time frame, you can see right here is where we opened right there. This wick set in a daily low. The very next hourly candle set in your daily high. And he's just been chopping inside the daily range. That's what I'm looking at right now on Bitcoin. It does look like it wants to go higher. This was a pretty vicious pullback, and I don't typically like to see rejection like that off of a major monthly level. But on a first time try to break out above it there, this is normal behavior for bullish price action. Like you got under it right here, but instantly broke back up, came in, retested it, and you are pushing higher. So we'll see if there's overhead supply here. And if we break down below this trend line and get downside continuation, then I'll have a 33,906 target, which is the next daily support setting right there. All right, that'll be my next downside target if we do close the daily under this ascending trend line. We didn't do very good on the last live stream we did as far as with the small account. It got almost down to $600, but that Tesla put that I bought ended up getting me back to neutral on the day. So we'll take that, right? Being down almost $250 on the small account, taking that trade, getting us back to neutral on the day. I instantly bailed out of the trade. So let's go look at Tesla. So here is Tesla. Here is that trade. That orange line was definitely where the bears were struggling to push this thing through. So basically, when we broke down right through here, I let it push a little bit deeper to close that gap. That's where you closed the previous day. So once that gap was closed, I went ahead and closed that position. Remember, I entered the position up here. I just bought a put. I bought a put on Tesla. That was kind of long dated, so I didn't have to worry about any intraday theta decay. So that put literally saved my day. It made me go into the weekend not up, but not severely down either. Basically, I was watching in the opening range here. Once we broke down, closed inside the opening range, I was watching this candle right there. So basically that's what that dotted red line is, the bottom of the opening range. And then you can see we did get a slight closure above. So if we would have closed above that, I would have been closing that trade out, because this is typically where people will look to be a buyer on a pullback. They'll look to buy that opening range high for bullish continuation, as we did see on the S&P 500, on the NASDAQ, and on most tech stocks. Me taking the short wasn't really the brightest idea. However, it ended up playing out perfectly. So good on that. Let's go look at the daily time frame on Tesla. For some reason, my extended hours are off, but it's okay. It's just this old support right here is what was holding price. And you can see, though, even though you pushed down below that orange line, you ended up closing back above it. So yeah, that was the low of day. I sold literally, I got out of the trade literally at the low of day. So I'm glad I did that. Now, if we are going to see a continuation of bullish rally, you got a wide gap right there from that wick to that wick. So we could see this be a pullback and then see price try to extend upwards. So watch daily closes next week around 219.97. As long as price is unable to close dailies below that price, I think you would see bullish upside continuation. As Apple is making another push to that trend line, it does look like it wants to try to break it. Amazon broke out extremely and then had fantastic bullish continuation. Thursday closed as gap up, closed down. Friday gap up, closed down. So it could be running out of steam here. We'll see. I'm not looking to short this. This is a phenomenal run. It's basically coming or trading above monthly resistance right now. That's this line right here. This other line is just that monthly open, not really resistance, right? It's not technically resistance. Technically, the way we view resistance is your highest bullish close. That would be your resistance. This is just, you know, your bigger levels. Price will respect your higher time frame opens and closes. And essentially that's what we've done. We've tagged September's open, and we'll see if we're able to close above that. Like I said, in order for me to switch my bias back to bullish on Amazon, I need to see a closure above this bearish engulfing. Just a retest of the open of that bearish engulf, and then if it were to roll over, because we did take out the low of this engulfing candle, then I would look for downside continuation. But a close above that, and I'm looking for the next target of 163.07. Goog doesn't look very good. I mean, it didn't get nowhere near the range up as other assets did. I mean, it did pop, but it did not get that range. Massive gap from the earnings. Be careful. Meta right back to being bullish again. This was the level where I was looking for shorts. Obviously, a daily close above. That totally wrecked that short trade. And then we gapped way up but closed down. And then inside day on Friday, NVIDIA pushed through the neckline of the head and shoulders formation. And then boom, 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 up. This was an invalidation of short entries. Up here could be an inval on short entries as well. We'll see what happens. Monthly highs all the way up to 475.77. So that could be the target. That would be your monthly high right there. All right. October high. I mean, all in all, it still just looks like a minor correction. It doesn't look like a massive bear market on NVIDIA. Just looks like a correction is all. But we'll see what happens. I mean, the Fed did leave the door open for potential rate hikes in the future. And no, I don't understand why everybody is acting like the Fed was super dovish. He wasn't. He said there are no cuts being talked about at all, and totally left the door open for further rate hikes, as he said that he believed that they were not restrictive enough yet. So we're going to see if they do hike. Many people, the market is obviously trading like it's not, or you could view it the way I'm viewing it for now until we have more data. It is just a short squeeze. Till we get more data, that is how I am treating this, as just a simple short squeeze, because we're still trading inside of October's range. And like I said, the way that I trade inside the ranges. Would I short a 44.30 test? Probably not, simply because that would be like, I would assume that it was going to break that, right? If we got up there. So we'll see what happens when we do get up there. Obviously, you got monthly supply sitting at 44.86.50. So that might be an area where it bounces back off and then drops back under. And then when we get near the end of the month, like I said, we got 26 days left on the month. Once we get back to the end of the month, depending on if it's trading above or below that line, will dictate future bullish or bearish positions. But the weekly looks terrible. It's a monstrosity of a bullish candle there. Big move down and then up. Yeah, it does look bad, but like I said, when you get towards the bottom edges of these ranges, this is where buyers will kick in. If we go to the the daily time frame, open up the 200 exponential, which is right there, and then the 200 simple. This is an area where people will buy. I mean, it's as simple as that. So it does look like the sellers were just not able or not willing to sell that far under the 200, waiting for that move to the upside for the next potential short entry. We'll have to see, right? We're very close to short side invals. All right, I hope the video helps you guys. Make sure you guys smash the likes on the videos. That helps the YouTube algorithm, obviously. And this channel really needs the help, as it is slowly losing viewers, but gaining subs. I mean, we're almost at 8,000 subs. We're at 799, so we just need about 10 more people to sub to the channel, and boom, we'll hit 8,000, and thank you guys for that. Make sure you guys trade safe, trade smart, and as always, happy trading.